Okay, so here are my top 5 ways to increase your clubhead speed. Okay, so number 1, and that is overspeed training. So overspeed training, if you don't know, in golf is basically swinging a club faster than you could do when hitting a golf ball. So as an example, your driver, let's say, weighs 70 grams. You would have an item which weighs 50 grams, and you're going to swing that as fast as you possibly can for multiple reps, multiple sets. Now, companies offer certain programs and different weighted systems, and I've got one here. So Super Speed Golf offer these sticks, 3 different weights. You may have seen this in my other videos. You've got a medium, a light, and a really heavy. Now, they have a program that you follow with all of these where you do a certain amount of sets with each one, different movements, different swings, and that's a possibility, but it does cost £200. If you don't want to spend that much money, there are alternative ways into overspeed training. So you can just get an alignment stick or a very, very light driver, maybe a lady's driver, and swing that very, very fast. So you could do 6 reps of 3 sets, have a kind of minute break in between. Literally, you don't even need to hit a golf ball, just swing that club as fast as you possibly can. What you're going to be doing is you're going to be lighting up the fast twitch fibers, teaching your body to swing faster. Hopefully when you get your normal drive back in hand, you're going to be able to swing that club a little bit quicker. The key to overspeed training is consistency in doing it enough. So if you want to overspeed train, make sure you do it at least 3 times a week, and make sure you do it consistently. You're not going to see much speed gains in a week or 2 weeks. You're going to see it more 5-6 weeks down the line. Okay, so number 2, and that is creating enough vertical force, or a powerful amount of vertical force. Now, what is that? It's the amount that your body can produce an upward motion. Okay, so where we're talking about is where it's going to be peaking and how much we can create. Now, we want to make sure that our vertical force, so think about it as a jump upwards. If I jump up, I'm going vertical, okay? In your golf swing, as you come into impact, so coming into the contact area, we want to create an upwards motion. We don't want you to stay downwards, because think about a jump as a powerful motion. If you stay static and just rotate, you're not going to be able to gain as much speed. Now, what I want you to feel as a simple feeling is when you're coming into impact, so we use this ball here, I need you to feel that your left leg extends and moves back and around you. So left leg extends, left hip moves back and around your body. Making sure you get that motion when you come into the golf ball is going to peak your vertical force earlier, which we need to before coming into impact, and it's going to create more torque. More torque, earlier peak, going to equal faster swing speeds. Okay, so number 3, and that is making sure you warm up properly. Something that most golfers never seem to do. They just walk into the range and they'll hit balls with no warm up and expect to hit it well and hit it a long way. Doesn't happen. Now, when you warm up, there's so much stuff out there. Google, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube. There's so much content out there to warm up properly. So if you're struggling for exercises, go and search it up. It's very simple. What you need to make sure of is that you do dynamic stretches, okay? We want to do dynamic rather than static stretches. Now, static would be something like this. If I was doing my hamstring, okay, and I would hold that stretch statically. So there's no movement in my body, I'm holding that stretch. A dynamic stretch would be moving. So as an example, having this club across my back, okay, get into my golf posture, and I would rotate from my right and rotate to my left. Now you can see here that I'm constantly moving, but I am stretching my body. There's no static motion, there's no hold. Okay, that's going to be better for my golf swing. Research has proven static stretching actually reduces power and speed. It tightens up the muscles, it doesn't do anything. You need to be dynamic, you need to get that blood pumping around, and you need to be warming up for at least 5-10 minutes before hitting golf balls. Okay, so number 4, and that is rotation. Specifically what we're going to talk about is rotation in our backswing. Okay, now this is a problem I see all the time, and probably something I end up fixing 60% of the time in the lessons that I do each week. Now, one thing for hitting long drives or creating more speed, more power, is the amount of, people think about it, is the amount of upper body rotation we can create. So the more we coil, wind ourselves up, the more power there's going to be at the bottom. And pretty much you're right. But rotation of the lower half specifically is going to be a massive factor to that. So as an example, if I try and turn on my backswing, okay, as much as I can with my upper, and I keep my lower body as static as possible, so I'm not going to turn, I'm going to try and keep them square, that's as far as I can physically go for me. I cannot go any more than that. Now, if I add some lower body rotation into that equation, you can see naturally my backswing has gone a lot longer, meaning I've created a lot more turn. So I've winded that coil up more, I'm going to be able to release more power. Okay. Now with that rotation, what I want you to really think about is you are rotating into that right heel. Okay, so I don't want you to try and rotate and keep that right knee really flexed and bent, because all that's going to do is cause you to slide, laterally slide to the right hand side, and that's not going to create any power. Lateral movement does nothing. Rotation is mainly the power movement. So try and focus on rotating into that right heel and allowing that right leg to straighten slightly. A good feeling is getting that right pocket. If someone pulled you back, that's the move we want. Now, if you physically struggle to rotate into your right side, so you physically feel a pull in your leg or your knee, everyone has their own injuries, lift that left heel off the floor. Now, I know some people will say that's a terrible idea, you shouldn't be, you should keep your feet planted. If you look at my swing at the moment with driver, I lift my left heel off because I feel I can get more mobility. Okay, so all I want you to do is, if you physically can't rotate very much, or you feel a big pull here, release that strain by letting that left heel come off the floor. That's going to help get that left knee in, and that's going to pull the strain off whatever area in your body is hurting, and it's still going to give you a lot of rotation. The more rotation you can create in the backswing, from what I have found, the more power you're going to create. Okay, and number 5, so the final tip for you, and that is consistency. So making sure you stay consistent with whatever training you decide to do from these tips. Okay, so that might be rotation, that might be trying to create more vertical force, overspeed training, whatever that may be, it's about being consistent with that training. So don't, do 2 weeks and you're not hitting it great and you go, oh, bum this, it's not working, Jamie's rubbish. It takes time. Your body takes time to adjust. You're not suddenly going to get quicker overnight. You've got to do it in a consistent way. Until a month, 5 weeks of training consistently, you're not going to see benefits yet. And that's exactly the same with changing your technique, anything like that related to golf. It takes time. So if you want to increase your speed, try some of these tips. But number 1 for me is make sure you stay consistent. Right guys, so there are my 5 tips for you to try and increase your clubhead speed. Give some of those a go, don't try and do every single one, maybe pick just a singular tip and work on that for a while and see if you can increase your speed. I guarantee you if you do them properly, you will. I've found it from what I've done, and I'm just going off past experiences. Everyone works slightly differently, and obviously there are other ways to increase your speed as well. Those are just 5 ways that I want to share with you. So thanks very much for watching, and I'll see you all in the next one.